Alright, continuing with the tools in the left-hand pane, we come to the Format tool. This tool allows us to narrow down the specific type of items that we are looking for. Click the More Options link, and we get a listing of the different formats that are available in this through this search. We have two options here. You can click the box to include specific items, or you can click a box to exclude more types of items depending on your search needs. When you do this, the Saint Search will re-execute the search based on this set of parameters. Alright, the next filter down is the subject filter. Now this filter can be really helpful in several ways. Within any given database, there will be so many items that the creators can't really describe everything with all possible language, so they use a specific vocabulary set. The fancy name for this is the controlled vocabulary. Some databases will call these subjects, others will refer to them as terms, but in any case, knowing about the controlled vocabulary can really help you narrow your search. So let's go ahead and click the More Options link again, and what pops up is the controlled vocabulary associated with this search. Now this can be really helpful because you can narrow results to very specific items by clicking include, the include box next to those subjects. Let's say, for example, that you're really concerned with jazz vocalists. Well, you could narrow specifically to all the items that have something to do with jazz vocals. There's another way this list can be helpful, and I do this with students a lot. When they know their topic but are struggling to find direction for their research, one thing I like to do is enter a really general search term, their topic, and then come to the subject listing. Doing this can help them see the kind of language associated with this topic. And frequently students will start to put new ideas together just by looking at this list. Oh, I didn't know I could look at it in terms of this, or I thought about this idea, or I've totally forgot about this idea. And so they can start synthesizing and putting ideas together through this. So the subject list can really help you expand your ideas as well as narrowing them depending on how you need to use it. Down the page a little bit more is the date filter. In Saint Search, you can either enter years in the boxes here or use the slider to narrow to a specific time range. One thing to be aware with this tool is that different disciplines have different standards about the age of information. In the hard sciences, for example, you generally want to use information that is no more than 5 years old. Knowledge in these disciplines changes so quickly. In business and education, you want information that is no more than 10 years old. However, these fields too change so quickly that in many cases 5-year-old information may even be too old. Other social sciences need information that is about 10 years old, while for the arts and humanities you can use much older information. Now these are general guidelines, and the age of information need will depend on what you're doing. If you're doing a historical study in the hard sciences, right, you can go a little farther back. But if you have questions about the age of the information you're using, you can check with one of the librarians or check with your professor. Let me point out one last tool down here at the bottom of the left-hand pane, and this is the suggested new searches. And it's a smaller tool, but it can be pretty helpful as well to help us think about our topic in a little bit different language and can help us focus our searches.